Early September, it's the peak of the hurricane season, often marked by powerful storms like Hurricane Irma in 2017. Remember that one well, working down in Florida. Hurricane Francine last year. You're seeing both of those storms on your screen right now. This season, very different story. This is a good thing. The Atlantic is oddly quiet on this calendar day. No named storms, but we did just get a new area to watch. That's a wave that'll be emerging off the west coast of Africa over the next couple days. To discuss this unusual lull during the peak of the season, we're joined by Louisiana State University professor and hurricane climatologist, Dr. Jill Trepanier. Dr. Trepanier, great to have you back with us here on Fox Weather. If you're like us, you've probably been scratching your head a little bit over this past week and some change. What do you make of the current state of the Atlantic?
I think I can speak for the entirety of the United States when I say we're happy that there's no major system out there right now. Definitely looking at the stable air that exists as a product of the Saharan air layer. We're seeing some increased shear across the area. The ocean temperatures are warmer than what we've seen recently, and I think especially in the Gulf. But warm water does not produce a hurricane. It just helps to support them. So I think a lot of what we're seeing is a bit odd for this part of the season, but it's certainly happened before. And again, we got that area of the west of Africa to keep an eye out for, but I'm pretty happy there's not a lot going on.
Yeah, no question. And I wanted to ask you more about that atmospheric stability. Last year, we had that weird lull right in the peak of the season, and sea surface temperatures were even warmer. This year, the sea surface temperatures are warm, not to last year's level. We had the hyperactive forecast last year and the forecast for this one, which was above average. Has that connection been studied enough yet? It feels like it's confounding a lot, the sea surface temperatures and potentially the connection to the atmospheric stability above.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of push in the world that sea surface temperature has a lot to do with the situation. And it does, in a manner of speaking, but it's just one piece of a fairly large puzzle. Last year compared to this year, and then compare that to the more active years before, I think there's still time that needs to happen to do the research to compare them across the board. But I think this space of stability that we see now won't last throughout the entirety of the hurricane season. The advantage of it lingering where it is right now is that it allows us to move through the peak of the season where that main development region over the Atlantic would produce storms. I don't think it will have a lot to do with any of those later October storms that tend to form in the Caribbean or in the Gulf, because in those instances, the stability from the Saharan air layer isn't going to interact very much with that geographic space. So I think there are some connections that need to be drawn between the seasons, but we need to remember that not every season is going to be extreme, and that's a good thing. And by definition, extreme seasons should be the rare, not the other way around.
Yeah, that is interesting, too, to have that peak season, which you pointed out. It's the MDR, the main development region, that's been quiet. We don't have much time left, but any thoughts? I know how warm it is, western part of the Caribbean and up into the Gulf, what we may see through the back half of the season. Could this be a backloaded one like we saw last year?
I certainly think it could be. I think there are conditions out there that lead to the development of systems a bit later into the season. I think my advice would be don't become complacent because we haven't seen any yet. All it takes is one bad storm to make a mark on our record, right? And to do a significant damage to the coastline and to the people who live there. So keep your eyes on the skies, as it were, and make sure you're not ignoring it. But for now, just sit back and watch. That's my advice.
Love that. Quiet time is a bonus. I just don't expect it to persist through what's left of the season because we still have a ways to go. That's LSU professor and hurricane climatologist, Dr. Jill Trepanier. Thanks for being with us on Fox Weather.
Thanks so much, Ian.